Community-led planning is all about communities helping to shape their own futures. It's about communities deciding what they really want and need and how they might be able to achieve it.
With any organisation, you need to have a business plan as to where your organisation is going. That helps your employees, it helps your customers.
Community-led planning isn't a new idea for rural areas, and in rural areas, over the years, we've managed to put together a process that we know works. It lets people get involved with community-led planning. What we've tried to do with this project is to use the best of what we've learned and apply it to an urban area.
Everybody just called us the council, and that, of course, in the main is Herefordshire Council, the unitary authority, not the parish. So we needed to try and define in people's minds what the parish could do, what the parish could affect, and community-led planning seemed to be a very good answer.
We had to find a really good way of tackling this project, so we decided to treat Hereford City as if it was a jigsaw. We broke it up into 7 different areas, ward areas or neighbourhood areas, and decided to work with each area in turn and then to bring the whole lot together, if you like. And in fact, we've been using the catchphrase, "Be part of the big picture," as one of the slogans, if you like, for the project. We started off with a really concerted publicity drive, if you like, so that people knew that something was happening in the city to get them interested in what was going on. And we started work in each ward area to see if we could get people from all sorts of groups to come together and talk about things that they had in common and things that they wanted to say about their neighbourhood and about the city as a whole.
The small community meetings were incredibly successful, and usually they were good because we'd been out the week before, the weeks running up to the meeting, door knocking, explaining to people. So we had some fantastic meetings in local community centres, pubs, and the engagement with the venue by the local community was also quite important, I think. So those were really good things. Once we'd had the initial meetings, we needed to inject some more high-profile events into it, and we had 2 Planning for Real events held in Hightown, and they were fantastic. Herefordshire Voluntary Action made some interactive maps of all the wards, and we were out all day, and I was overwhelmed by people's responses. They really wanted to engage in the process. They really wanted to come and stick their little flags in and say, this is a problem here, or this is an issue here, or I love this about this area. So we had maps covered in flags. And then I think the third highlight that for me was really good was when we were collecting questionnaires. And again, where you've got a community that has an issue that they're collectively struggling with, you knock on doors, and door after door after door in those communities, the questionnaire is ready, already filled out, and they are really pleased that you're knocking on their door and collecting what they've said about their immediate surroundings and their community. And I think that's what's interesting about parish planning. It's what affects daily life. It's not the big strategic decisions that the unitary authority takes. It's about dog poo bins and benches and how you access services locally. And I think people see the value of that.
I think a key part of the city plan's also about the whole city, and some of our work has certainly highlighted some needs in terms of the whole city as a community, not just certain communities within that city. And I think the opportunity for the city plan and the actions that come out of it is for all communities to work together for the benefit of the whole city.
Arguably our longest running project in St James initiative was our community travel plan, and we found that the main concerns that came out of it were speeding traffic, which was the biggest issue, and because of that the sort of perceived dangers of cycling. As a community, we managed quite early on to get the council to agree to allow us to put up advisory 20-mile-an-hour signs, which are rather beautiful. And so our hope now is that those advisory signs will now be converted to mandatory signs incorporated into the parish plan, into the city plan.
I think one of the things that has been organic out of the community already is the example of the skate park, where you had a few young people who approached a councillor saying, well, we haven't got anywhere to skate. And as a result of that, a few of them came together. They had some big ideas, not a lot of money, but they approached the City Council. The City Council gave them some money, then the lottery gave them some money, then some other people gave them money, and they raised £300,000 to build a skate park. Out of that as well came another idea, was that Hereford needs an ice rink. And 1,700 young people formed another group called Hereford Needs an Ice Rink. And last year we had our first outdoor ice rink at Christmas. And they said, okay, that went quite well. So this year we did it bigger. But had we not had that focus group in the first place that evolved out of this skate park, we wouldn't have known. And those youngsters would still be kicking their heels, saying Hereford does nothing for us.
One of the great things about this process is that by working with people locally and getting them to think about what they really need, what they really want, encourages them to come up with really realistic ideas. So far, we haven't had lots of people demanding things that we can't really hope to provide for them or for them to provide themselves.
One of the areas where we've been doing some consultation brought up the issue about a bridge over one of our brooks. And so what we have is we have a footpath going up one side of the school, which is taking all the youngsters to high school, and coming down the same path, we have a bottleneck because we've got parents bringing children to the primary school. Now, that's been floating around for a number of years, but it's never been nailed down really. So we've now had the opportunity through the consultation to bring it and put it back on the table. And so it's now starting to gain momentum that it's on the residents' agenda, it's on the economic development agenda, the planning people know about it, so if any 106 monies come in, that could possibly go towards that. It's one of the requirements. So, and we've also got 2 schools with their travel plans linking in this bridge. So the potential for it to happen now is much greater than it would have been a number of years ago, and certainly it wouldn't happen perhaps without the parish plan.
One of the interesting things about this project is that it's given us the opportunity to set up a new partnership that's between Community First, Herefordshire Voluntary Action and Hereford City Council, 3 organisations that have never worked together before. And yet we've managed to come together and to follow the community planning process and do something really positive.
The major benefits of community-led planning in terms of the strategic partnership is that you have a much clearer understanding of what the community wants, and you do that through the consultation and engagement processes, and it gives you a much clearer and better mandate than most other consultative processes. And that gives each of the local strategic partners a much higher degree of confidence that what they actually do in terms of allocating resources and funding is much better placed because they have that clear mandate from the community.
Herefordshire Council is very much involved in the whole process of the community-led planning project. We're on the steering group, we're involved in some of the community groups, and that's at officer level and member level. What I think is important is that whatever the outcomes of this project are, it means that we can tackle some of the problems in a partnership approach because we've bought into the whole process.
It's about connecting with the community in the way that they want to be connected with. I've got my older community group. They don't like going out at night time. They'd rather meet during the day, so they like to meet in community centres. But my younger group, they're more than happy to communicate with me through Facebook. So you've got to try and find which avenue suits your community the best.
It's getting that engagement that is so crucial.
Looking back, one of the trickiest things has actually been reaching the people that we thought would be easiest to reach. And those are the people that are already in organisations and clubs and societies. We've had real success with the hard to reach, if you like, who've been more than happy to stop and chat in shops or get involved in one of our High Town projects But it's been much harder to get people from established societies to come along and sit around a table and perhaps park to one side a particular point of view or an issue that they deal with day to day and look more broadly at what's going on in their ward or neighbourhood area. And that's something that we've really got to think about if we do this again. It has been quite a challenge working on the project. But at the same time, it's been a really exciting opportunity to see whether or not you can take this kind of community-led planning approach and apply it to an urban area. And although there are lots of things you might like to change in retrospect, some of the things that have come out of it have been really good. We've got new people involved with community activity in different wards. It's given people lots of opportunities to talk to their councillors, to understand what different people are actually providing for them, to clear up some of the confusion about the City Council and the County Council and the Herefordshire Partnership and what they all do. And it's also given people the opportunity to compare notes across the city as well, to see what people are doing in all the different wards. So there have been some real pluses to come out of the project.
When you provide what is a genuine opportunity for people to engage, they're more than willing to let their views be known. They're also very keen to be kept in touch with what happens next. And a number of the community events we've had, people have wanted to know what the follow-up is going to be in the future, so what action's going to be taken.
At the end of this project, I would hope that Hereford City Council can feel really confident that they've given people the opportunity to speak out about what they want for their local neighbourhood and for the city as a whole, and that they can move forward knowing that anything they do is actually based on what the people they represent want.